Este video es un resumen de lo que se vivió en mi canal morado. Te invito a verme en directo e intento jugar todos los días.
Oh, Mr. Marston. How are you doing today?
I'm well, Miss McFarland. Thank you. How are you?
Well, I'm fine, thank you. So, how are your ribs?
Fine. A little sore, but apart from a couple extra scars, it'll be as nothing happened.
Good. Come in. You know, you never did tell me how you met that Bill Williamson or what you wanted from him.
No, miss, I did not.
Well, why not, if you don't mind me asking?
I certainly don't mind you asking if you don't mind me not telling. See, it's a complicated and somewhat pathetic tale, and by telling you, not only will I be putting your life in danger, but also threatening the lives of some people that I hold very dear.
Well, I apologize if I seem to be prying.
And I apologize for my reticence. Hope you believe me when I say that it's simply out of respect for you.
Of course, Mr. Marston. I understand that a city dweller such as yourself likes to have some exotic secrets, so us country folk are impressed.
I'm no city man, miss.
Yeah, but I saw you get on the train at Blackwater. You with those gentlemen in bowler hats?
I'm still no city man.
But I'll bet you can't ride, Mr. Marston.
I hate to take money from a lady, miss.
Oh, you won't be. I'll race you right now.
If it makes you happy.
We'll see.
Una carrera.
All right, I'll show you how we ride round these parts. On the count of 3. 3, 2, 1, go! I trust you're not gonna be a gentleman about this.
You don't know me at all, Miss McFarland.
This is gonna be close.
Is that the best you can do?
I'm coming, don't you worry. Call yourself a dangerous outlaw? Isn't this jolly? Where do you think you're going?
This is how it's done.
Whoa there.
Tiré a uno por ganar.
That was fun.
Sure.
Qué feos los controles, no me
You should
gustaron.
go pay the marshal a visit in Armadillo sometime. I'm sure he could help you deal with that nice Mr. Williamson.
Yeah, I might just do that, Miss McFarland.
You do whatever you think's best, Mr. Marston. Ah, Mr. Marston, how are you?
Good, Miss McFarland. How are you?
I'm well. Would you mind riding with me to Armadillo? I've got to get some supplies and I could do with the company.
Of course.
You can take the reins. It wouldn't do for a terrifying bounty hunter such as yourself to be seen driven around by a woman. Hop on up, Mr. Marston.
Y yo manejo.
You're looking much better, considering you were almost buzzard food a couple days ago.
I have you to thank for that, miss.
So do tell me, have you needlessly risked your life since we last spoke?
No, miss, I have not.
Well, that's a relief. Perhaps there's hope for you yet.
I wouldn't bet on it.
Oh, there's always hope, Mr. Marston. You can't be a rancher in this kind of country if you don't believe that.
An admirable attitude, miss.
I suppose so. I can't think of any other way to stay sane, to be frank. What about you? Have you ever given up hope altogether?
Hope hasn't really entered into it. It's not really something I think about.
A peculiar outlook. I can't really say I understand you.
I can't always say I do either.
Oh, don't be so deliberately enigmatic.
I'm not, miss.
Yes, you are. You are being deliberately obscure as a substitute for having a personality.
I just know there are two theories to arguing with women, and neither one works.
I'm not even going to dignify that gibberish with a response. You never did tell me where you live.
I have a small holding up in Great Plains.
A farmer? Yeah, and I'm the Queen of England. And at what point during your day of hunting down outlaws do you find time to raise chickens?
Only been at it 3 years or so. I guess I'm kind of new to it.
You're
3
telling me?
años.
So who's looking after this farm of yours right now?
Uncle. Well, he's not my uncle, as far as I know. Just an old dog who's as lazy as a lizard on a hot day. The kind of fella laboring under the delusion that age brings wisdom.
Sounds like the perfect person to leave in charge of your entire livelihood.
We go way back, and I didn't have a lot of choice.
I'd be getting back there if I was you.
That's what I'm trying to do, miss.
how well do you know New Austin?
I don't. We talked about coming down here many times, but never made it.
Who's we?
Me and the folks I used to work with. Yeah, New Austin. The last real outlaw country, where the old ways still hold true. Do a man wrong, he'll shoot you for it. Do a man right, well, he still may shoot you for it. But at least you have an idea of what's right and what's wrong there.
Dear, oh dear, Mr. Marston. What dreadful novel did you get that romanticized dribble out of? Those days are long gone, if they were ever here at all. According to Paul, those days were just people shooting each other because they lost at cards. We'll be lucky if our ranch survives another 5 years. Businessmen are the new cowboys. You look like a man who's been through the mill.
Thank you.
I mean, you've lived some life. I'm 27 years old and I have rarely left Hennigan's stead. Although many years ago we did briefly employ a French governess. Well, I think she was French. She said she was French, but she spoke Russian. That was when Paul thought I would become a lady.
The change of pasture doesn't always make for a fatter calf.
I know, and I wouldn't change my life for all the money in the world. I'm just saying, sometimes I wish I'd been, well, braver. Been to more places, seen more things.
If you ask me, it usually takes more strength to stay than to run, Miss McFarland.
So this is Armadillo. Manhattan it is not, but it does okay for us. Most important thing for you right now is getting yourself into Dr. Johnson's office to purchase some medicine. The first one's on me.
Thank you, miss. I'll pay you back.
I'm sure you shall. The doc's a good fellow. He saved your life, so be polite to him. Meet me in front of the general store when you're done.
Just finished helping a patient. How can I help you?
Thanks.
Well, thanks for driving me. It was nice to be able to enjoy the view for once, and a little company never hurts now and again.
You're more than welcome, miss. Least I can do. Thank you for the medicine.
Why don't you have a look around Armadillo? You can always take a stagecoach back to the ranch later.
I might just do that. Travel safely, miss.
Try not to get yourself shot. I won't be around to save you this time.
Mujeres y ganado.
Mr. Marston, I've been hearing about your plans.
Have you, Miss McFarland?
Yes, from Lee Johnson. To settle here and build a life for yourself.
I'm afraid those aren't my plans. See, I already have a life. Well, I had one, and I'm trying to reclaim it. Or maybe what you could say
¿Qué
is I
pasó?
had two, and I'm trying to end one of them so the other can survive.
You do so love to talk in riddles, Mr.
O sea,
Marston. Do you
ya no
do
quiere
that?
ser un
I wonder
forajido.
as a substitute for having anything interesting to say.
Probably, Miss McFarland.
Oh, call me Bonnie, you fool. Call me Bonnie.
Bill se hizo... No, es que han pasado más años porque no he visto a Bill
Miss McFarland,
cómo se miraba
I'm
en
married.
el juego.
I have a son. I had a daughter, but she died.
Tenía una hija.
Years before that, I rode in a gang.
Hace un
We
año.
robbed banks,
Hace años.
trains, held people ransom. We
Perdió
killed
una
people we didn't
hija.
like. Bill Williamson was in that gang.
Ok.
Now, if I don't capture my former brother in arms, great harm will befall my family. Now, I don't suppose any of this is very interesting to you, but I hope it explains why I wasn't so eager to talk about it.
No, I do understand. I had no idea.
¿Y
You poor
quién,
man.
quién lo
Even in this
tiene
new country,
contra las
memories don't really
cuerdas?
fade. My father was an illiterate Scot born on the boat into New York. He never saw his homeland, but to hear him talk about it, you'd imagine he only ever ate haggis and wore a kilt. And he hated the English for what they had done to his great-grandparents that he'd never met. People don't forget. Nothing gets forgiven.
That's true. Especially when it comes to money. And you know, even now, after all his labors, my father's debts are still terrible. I worry every day about us losing the ranch. It would kill him.
My father died when I was 8 years old. His eyes were, well, Let's just say he was blinded in a bar fight south of Chicago. My mother died during childbirth. She was a prostitute and he was her... Well, I don't know what he was.
Esto no lo sabíamos.
So I was sent off to an orphanage and ran away and fell in with a gang.
Con Dutch.
My word. What a difficult life you've lived.
The leader of the gang taught me how to read, taught me how to see all that was good in the world. He was a great man in a way.
But you killed people.
Sure. And I've suffered for it. And that's the life I left, or tried to leave. Said too much, Bonnie. I'm an uneducated killer, sent here to do all I can do well. Kill a man in cold blood so that another man may do his part to cut crime in an area, and a rich man can be elected governor on the back of these promises.
Civilization is a truly beautiful thing, Mr. Marston. Listen, can you help me?
Well,
O sea que no ha dejado la vida.
what do you need, money?
No, nothing so complicated.
La vida de
I need an extra hand to take out the herd to pasture.
crímenes.
Sure. Point me in the right direction.
All right, let's head over to the cow pen. It's about time a budding farmer such as yourself learned how to herd cattle. Thank you for telling me all that back there. It must have been hard for you.
I hope you understand now why I've been playing my cards somewhat close to my chest.
I didn't know you had a wife and child. Then again, I don't think I ever asked. They're lucky to have a man like you.
I ain't so sure about that, but thank you.
Get behind the herd. That should start them moving in the right direction. Assuming they aren't put off by your smell. Come on, boys.
Showing
Good.
off now.
Now we need to move this entire herd out to the far pasture for grazing. Sweep back and forth behind them. Keep them nice and tight.
Misión interesante.
You're not bad with the herd. Ranching might be your true calling, Mr. Marston. Either that, or you were a cow in a past life.
Thank you, Miss McFarland.
I'll see you later. I have work to do back at the ranch.